3
in
years.
July.
Okay, good. So Senate Health and Welfare is back on April 13th. We're looking at our, what I hope is, or at least we can make our final draft on our budget recommendation to send down the hallway today. The issue that we had asked for additional information on was the substance misuse prevention coalitions across the state, and we received a whole set of documents that are also online. And so that one, and then there are a couple other spots. So Katie, I'm going to turn it over to you and help us out.
Sure. Yeah.
So
You got to refresh.
Should be under Jen's name, 2.2.
I found it. Yep, no, it's there.
Draft Senate Committee on Health and Welfare.
I'm sorry, where is?
I think it should be under Jen's name.
It is.
Oh, under Jeff's. Draft Senate Committee Health Welfare FY23 budget.
Yeah.
Draft 2.2. So let me know where you'd like to start, Madam Chair. We could sort of walk through the document because there have been some
Sure.
changes that have been made, or we can start at the places where there were sort
Let's
of outstanding
do the yellow
questions.
highlight.
Okay, great. So as you said, the first of the yellow highlights is on page 3, and this is Substance Misuse Prevention Coalition. As we left it yesterday, the current advocate proposal was 3.5 million in base. That was also the governor's recommend, and the House funded it at 612,500. And your position was undecided as to when we left, and you were also curious if there was a relationship with some of the funding in H728, the opioid overdose prevention bill.
And that was the council and the coalition.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are across the state, and we did get a significant amount of information from the folks who are doing that work.
Okay.
And did you post that as well, Aaron?
Everything I got today, yes.
Yes, it's all posted.
Wait, you did post this?
Yeah, and there's a map that shows where the
Whose name is it on there?
That's the map, Senator Hardy.
No, I know, but whose name is it on? Oh,
I might not have posted all that. Did you want me to post all of them?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, if I can interject here.
Yeah.
For the record, Noel Langwell, the Joint Fiscal Office, one of the questions that came up was why did this House appropriations reduce it? And so I followed up with them, and what I heard was it was a combination of one, they were prioritizing the other substance use stuff over this.
Yes,
And 2, it was based on the recommendation from the policy committee to prioritize other stuff.
yes.
And 3, there was a sense among the member, at least the member that I spoke to in House Appropriations, they didn't really understand enough about the program to want to give it that much money.
Right.
yeah.
So those were the 3 things that I heard from the conversation.
Sorry, yes, it is posted. It's on yesterday's page, but it's also been emailed to all of you. But I can also post it on today's page.
Yeah, that would help. So as you look at the coalition work going on across the state, it's pretty impressive. But the amount of money is significant. So I think if we, I'd like to leave some money in, and also as we look at, I brought this up yesterday with the Chair of Appropriations regarding H728 and that relationship. But no matter if, so look at, here's a couple things. We know that there's a significant amount of cannabis money going into prevention, but that's not here yet. And then we also know that 728 will be bringing opioid dollars into the state, but that's not here yet. So it's like there's this gap here. You know, talk about a gap year. This is a gap year for prevention that I think if we leave the support the House funded budget, and then we're looking forward to prevention dollars in the future, I think that would help.
Wait, so what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we support the House budget 612 proposal, that we also identify, that we understand in the future future, we may see money from the prescription pharmaceutical settlement and from cannabis, but you can't pay for the work today if you don't have money.
So what you're suggesting is that we say support as in-house budget, like the one above it.
Yeah,
So
we
not the 3.5 million, but the 612,500.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would like to go higher, but I'm thinking, because we always shortchange prevention, consistently shortchange prevention. And, but
I do have to say that the information they sent us did not answer the questions I asked them yesterday.
What did they do? It shows us a map.
It doesn't say
no,
what they
there's
do.
a
and that's
huge
the
amount of
goal.
information about the evidence-based work that they're doing.
I don't
It's-
see the evidence-based work.
You
I
have
don't-
it in an email.
I'm looking at the email. I don't see it. They have what the coalitions are, what their budget is, the map.
You
The,
have all that posted.
yes, it's
Okay.
all posted. I'm looking at it. There's
Yeah.
nothing about the
So,
evidence
Frank
base.
posted it today.
He's still posting.
There's nothing
So
about
I'm-
evidence.
I gotta go on.
I am,
Oh,
this
here's
is,
the evidence.
this is the proposal. I'll show you this proposal, you can see this is from the original budget. Then there is the map, then there is other information that we have. But, so I'm thinking about where we are time-wise, and we do need to invest in the prevention work that is ongoing, and this is a huge part of it.
And I agree with you. I think that we should give them something. But we also need to be cognizant of the fact that it isn't just prevention that we need to deal with. It's recovery for people who live.
This is, yeah,
So if, I would like to see some money, more money moved into those areas of recovery.
this is the tension that always happens, because we want to help those who need treatment, intervention, treatment and recovery. And the other piece of it is prevention. So I think, if we did a side-by-side, prevention would be losing right now, but I think we want to keep some support available.
Do you want the comment in there about you understand that you'll see more funding for this purpose from opioid settlements and cannabis in future years?
Yes,
Keep that in?
please.
Okay.
And then support us in the house budget. Is that what we decided on? Okay.
And then, go ahead, Kate.
Oh, sure. So the next question was the statewide director for suicide prevention. The ask is 125, the House budgeted it at 115, and you're saying that you support it at 120. Was that your intent?
Yeah, I think we talked about
And I think the testimony was,
yeah, but
you're in the decimal dust at this point. It's gonna depend on what it takes to get the right person.
Okay, where was the highlighting there?
I think that's it last,
I
yeah.
think that is too. And then just a flag for you that a definition in the language sections below, when we talked about postvention in section B, a definition was added there. So if you look at section B, subsection B, as used in the section postvention means activities that reduce risk and promote healing after death by suicide. So that was added.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that was the only change made to the language itself, the proposed language. So should we go back to the top and sort of review from the top? What is your preference?
Well, let's just take a few minutes and do that. Let's try not to be too, let's try not to make changes, because I think we're getting to the.
Can I make one
Oh, I
pitch?
knew you would, Senator. Which one?
I know you got the same,
Senator Starr.
Yeah, I know.
He's legendary. Just one more thing.
Oh, this last
He
one.
was my first chair.
Wait, so tell me it's not Addison County.
No. It's the food bank.
Yes.
And I know that you got the same
Oh, the
pitch,
food
Senator
bank.
Lyons.
I knew that.
We probably all did. So I just wanted to put it back on the table, for anyone who's listening out there. I mean, I do understand that we gave them funding recently and that, you know, we haven't traditionally given them funding. The crisis continues and now there's all this inflation and I was looking at this list of the things. Inflation for food is actually higher than inflation for hospital costs right now. So, I, just wanted to put it back on the table to see if there's any.
How do you want to do that? Do you want to say something about, to the extent that funds are available, that we would,
Yeah, I mean, I think we could add it down on our list. I mean, I think 6 million is a lot, but I was thinking, we could say to the extent that funds are available, 2.5 million or something like that, or some funding to the food bank due to the rising cost of food and the continuing need in the community.
What if we just concurred with the 1.5 the House wanted?
I think we did, but we took it out of there because, thank you for reminding me.
That's what I was realizing.
yeah.
Great minds are thinking like, that we could just put that back in there and say, to the extent that funds are available, we would recommend an increase to at least 2.5 or 3 or whatever people want to say, 3.5. But
Let's do
I
that.
just want to have it on our list.
But make sure it's to the extent funds are available. I don't want to put the appropriation committee in a position where, I think they would like to put money in. We'd all like to help.
Just remember this afternoon, we're giving money away.
Yeah.
Unless we get.
Somebody's raising their
Oh, I'm totally with you. I was like, oh, this is a lot to put into one thing here.
It is, yeah, but
Yep,
it's
I hear you.
wearing two hats, difficult.
This is good. And what did you?
Does that make sense?
Just to
Go ahead.
address what,
Senator Hooker has a
just
question.
to address what Senator Terenzini was asking about yesterday, as far as the Mackenzie Scott gift to the food bank. But much of that was spent during the pandemic. So, that was, we sort of looked at it and said, oh geez, you got this big infusion, sure, what are you asking us for? But it seems that money was spent.
And Cheryl, time escapes me, I couldn't remember if that happened 3 months ago or 3 years ago,
Well,
so.
Especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
So that would be, to the extent funds are available, Senate Health and Welfare supports a total appropriation of 3.5 million. Do I have that right? Was it 3.5?
I think 3.5. That would be an extra 2 million above the house. I think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was hearing 2 different numbers.
I know. I said two
They
numbers.
said 1.5.
That's fine. I mean, if we say to the extent funds are necessary, so
They'll
they'll.
cut it. Yeah.
As long as they leave the diapers alone.
Oh, okay.
Josh is all over the
Well, we
diapers.
already gave them a donation for diapers, I mean. Remind me.
Kenny,
Come around on toilet paper diapers, I'm sorry.
I still think we should put like the HCBS
Is it
designated
7:28?
agents to like put it in.
Oh, I need to go back to something. The relationship to 7/11 and 7/28 under the substance misuse prevention, under.
Do you want both of them?
Yes, as
Okay.
well as the cannabis. Yeah, the 7/11 has the money in it.
Okay.
See double bacon, cheese and French fry burgers or something.
How about the little lobster basket?
Always money in the banana stand.
They have a lobster roll.
Okay, I know, I've gotta go, cause
Are we good then?
And
So we'll just take a straw poll of support for what we're sending down there.
No, I think it's fine.
Are you good? Yeah. Good. Anybody not good?
We've done the base work.
Okay.
I wish we could say more about
Well, we
stuff, but
want more money.
More about stuff.
more about stuff about,
I can always raise taxes.
as the
Okay,
allotments for
so-
building.
Are you sure you wanna add 728? The sentence says you understand it may see more funding for this purpose from opioid settlements in cannabis in future years. You won't be seeing more money from 728.
That's fine.
So take it out.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
All right, so with the changes that we have just made, we'll get a clean copy and we'll send it down the hall. I'm looking for sort of a voice straw poll vote, a vote by hand. Just raise your hand and say aye if you agree. Aye, Senator Cummings, so thank you. This has been heavy lifting in a short period of time. And you've all done really great work.
Well, thanks especially to you three for all your work to get us organized.
And so you know, I'm in the process of putting together a spreadsheet that matches this, that can accompany it with totals,
Okay.
whether you want to know them or not.
It's what?
Whether you want to know them or not.
Okay, good. We want to know them. Okay, and all their bills are in here and everything is fine. So we're finished. We can walk you through